All right, now South Africa's lawmakers, our parliamentarians, will take their oaths of office tomorrow and on Thursday. Parliament is made up of the 400 designated National Assembly members and 90 delegates of the National Council of Provinces, those two bodies making up Parliament. Presiding over their swearing in will be Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng. To discuss, we're joined by SABC reporter Vuyani Green from our studios in Parliament. Vuyani, firstly, some developing news. So we know that Malusi Gigaba and Baleka Mbete have withdrawn their names from the ANC MP list. What does that mean? What happens now?
Well, good evening, Francis, and to our viewers. Yes, we've just learned that the two people, members of the ANC, Baleka Mbete, who was the speaker in the previous, fifth parliament, as well as Malusi Gigaba, have withdrawn their names on the list of ANC designated members of the National Assembly. This happens on the eve of the swearing in of members of the National Assembly. But then with regard to the issue of Baleka Mbete, I think this was expected, especially after yesterday the ANC announced that she won't be retained as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Instead, her colleague, Thandi Modise, would take over as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Because you recall that before she was appointed or elected the Speaker of the National Assembly, she occupied the position of a Deputy President during the presidency of or administration of Kgalema Motlanthe. And the position of Speaker of the National Assembly and that of the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces is equivalent to that of the Deputy President of the country. So it was inconceivable for me that she would accept perhaps a position in the executive as a minister or even as a backbencher. That will be a demotion. With regard to Malusi Gigaba, you know that he resigned or was forced to resign, from Parliament and the executive under a cloud. And therefore, in view of the President Cyril Ramaphosa's new dawn, again, I thought it would be inconceivable that he would be appointed in the executive. And yesterday, the ANC announced the presiding officers of the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And Malusi Gigaba did not feature there. So for me, these two withdrawals came as no surprise.
Okay, so I think other names now move up the list because we need to still ensure that a full parliamentary list of 400 people are sworn in tomorrow. Tell us how that ceremony will unfold.
Well, that means that now that two of ANC designated members have withdrawn, then whoever is up on that list of the ANC will take over. Tomorrow, what's going to happen is that the Chief Justice will preside over the ceremony as prescribed by the Constitution. He will first administer oath or affirmation to members of the National Assembly. Once that process is done, he will also preside over the election of the Speaker. And again, once that process is done, then they will adjourn, and then in the afternoon, he will preside over the election of a president-elect. Now, assuming that all those people are elected unopposed, then that will be the end of it. But if, for instance, other opposition parties nominate a candidate for the position of the Speaker, then the members of the National Assembly will have to vote by secret ballot. And one of the things that the Chief Justice has told us was that today he was administering an oath to returning officers, because once that eventuality materialize, then there must be people who will conduct that secret ballot. It can't be members of Parliament or of the National Assembly. So those are people that were taking oath today. Assuming that, as I indicated, that no contender is nominated by the opposition benches, then the process will be smooth sailing, and then in the afternoon, a president will be elected, and then that president will be sworn in. Will be sworn in by Saturday, because the Constitution prescribes that that person who's been elected as the president must take the oath of office within 5 days. And another important thing is that that person will have to resign his or her seat in the National Assembly, again creating another vacancy for whichever party. In this case, it's going to be the ANC to fill in that vacant seat of the president.
Vuyani, very quickly, Mogoeng, the Chief Justice, will be there reminding them of their duties as parliamentarians. You've just been speaking to him. What's he been saying?
Well, we've just had a wide-ranging interview with the Chief Justice with regard to some of those issues. We asked him how does it feel now that he'll be administering, this oath or affirmation to some of people who've not covered themselves in glory. And he tried to duck and dive the question, to dodge it, saying that as a jurist, he acts on the basis of evidence, and he didn't want to talk about that. But what he said, he had words of encouragement to the new president, saying that the president should not appoint people of questionable character or integrity and people who don't have capacity to deliver. That's the message that he put through, saying that the president must make sure that he appoints people who enjoy the confidence of South Africans and not people of questionable character and people who are incompetent.
Thank you very much. Vuyani Green from the SABC ahead of that ceremony, the elections presided over by the Chief Justice.